New Image Media presents the NFHS Game of the Week. Brought to you by Crossroads Ford. Big city deals from a dealer with a hometown feel.
It's my favorite time of the year. Football is back. I would like to personally invite you to come down for your next new or pre-owned vehicle purchase. With one of the largest new and pre-owned inventories in the area, come see us today for discounts that the competition simply can't match or beat. If you drive in Sanford, why not buy in Sanford? Come see me, the deal maker. Come and get that big town deal with that small town feel right here at Crossroads Ford in Sanford.
Welcome here to Lee County High School in Sanford, North Carolina, Paul B. Gay Stadium. This is the Crossroads Ford pregame show. My name is Nathan Cochrane with the host, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Delambert here. Chris, how's it going tonight?
You say I'm the host, but you get stuck bringing everything in, man. So I think we can call you the host. I'm the guy here to watch some football. I tell you what, I don't know how this game's going to go tonight, but I can tell you that I'm blown away already. This is the first time we've been on campus at Lee County this year, and I don't know how that is this deep into the season. But the press box, completely laid.
Completely new,
the
right?
The grass looks like it's never been touched by human feet. It's amazing, man. This place is banging right now. I'm excited.
I'm pretty sure I saw on social media last week that Lee County hosted their first home game of the season last week. Did senior night. No one gave an update on the box, though. We've got some nice new floors. We got partition walls.
No, I think the radio guys. I think the radio guys were trying to keep it to themselves, man. They didn't want to let us know. They're like, yeah, we can stretch our legs out.
Get on Hockaday now.
Man, oh man, oh man! Great job by the folks here in Lee County. Here, the district, the I don't know who was responsible. School board, I don't know, but you guys did an amazing job. And it's funny because we kind of had been not fussing about it, but it was a thing. Anytime people ask me, what do they need over the facilities? What do you know of? And no matter what I knew that the coaches thought they needed, I'm like, man, y'all need to do some of that press box. But now it's all right. Okay, and Western Harnett comes in. This is a tale of two ball clubs here. Western Harnett coming in at 0-5. It's going to be a rough night.
Chris, I pulled some stats for us. Western Harnett coming in at 0-5. Points 4. They've scored 86 points so far this season. They've given up 155.
Well,
so almost double.
Well, and you look at some of the scores, and were things a little bit different, if we were at a different school on this particular night, we might be trying to make the case, hey, man, Western Harnett can keep this thing close. They can make it interesting. It's not going to happen tonight. This is going to be over early unless something crazy happens. Somebody, a coach in this district not associated with this game made the statement to you that if Western Harnett were to pull off the upset tonight, it would be the biggest upset of the year in North Carolina high school football this year. It's not going to happen.
I was thinking about the keys for this game for Western Harnett, dropping my son off at my parents' house tonight. And key number 1, sell your soul to the devil.
Wow.
That's key number 1.
That might be it. That might be a little Nas shoes, man. We'll look to see if there's any over on the other sideline. Look, Lee County comes into this as a prohibitive favorite. I don't even know what the line would be on a game like this. Lee County, though, has an interesting road ahead. They have this game tonight.
Yep.
This is a Thursday in advance of Good Friday. These guys come back on Monday and have to play again in the makeup game against Triton, which could be the actual conference championship game. Triton has Union Pines tonight. If Triton wins that ball game, they're the only team that could catch Lee County.
They're undefeated in the conference.
Yes.
At that point.
So on Monday, the winner of that game would be the conference champ. Now, if Union Pines gets past Triton, then that makes it a little bit more complicated because it could conceivably be a three-way tie and things like that. But first things first, Lee County has to pay attention here. They can't look past this game to Monday. Then they have Triton on Monday, and then they close the season next Friday with the Brick City Bowl against Southern Lee. And, yes, Southern Lee is having a down year this year. However, a rivalry game, crosstown rivals, anything can happen. So Lee County's going to get out here. They're going to take care of business. And instead of kind of getting carried away with the keys of the game and the rest of that, let's talk about why there's a little bit of extra motivation for Lee County tonight, please. Lay it out there. Be kind.
Be kind. Okay, so in discussion, Western Harnett High School canceled their JV game last night, which under head coach Blake Culbertson has been a trend. It's been a trend for years now. Western Harnett is notorious for canceling ball games, especially JV ball games, right at the last minute. It was happening when I was coaching in 2017. His predecessor, Jim Fury, God rest his soul, never did that. We literally played Jim Fury and the Western Harnett Eagles during Hurricane during Hurricane Matthew in 2016. He was not going to cancel a ball game. Coach Culbertson has different plans. Their JV team has only played 2 games this year, to my knowledge, and this is a trend. So, from the rumors that I've been told, last night there were some less than pleasantry words exchanged from the coaching staff of Lee County High School, the athletic director from Lee County High School, and the respective counterparts at Western Harnett. So could be a little interesting tonight. See if we get a little bit of chippiness.
All right, let me jump in and give some context, play devil's advocate a little bit. Western Harnett is a much smaller program than Lee County. We see that one of the schools in our district already is playing without a JV team this year, Southern Lee, because, the short schedule and all the rest of that stuff. So it's a little bit more difficult. In fact, it's a lot more difficult for smaller programs to field a JV team. However, you've got a program like this, like Lee County. This is the time where they want to roll and make sure they get all the reps for these JV guys, because these guys may have to play important football over the next couple months. All right, we're going to go down to the field for the national anthem. We'll be back with the kick. Take us out, Nate.
This has been the Crossroads Forward pregame show, and catch you at kickoff.
Yes, sir.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Welcome back to Paul B. Gay Stadium here in Sanford, North Carolina. You're watching our Lee County Yellow Jackets take on the Western Harnett Eagles of Lillington. This is the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac Chevrolet. Chris, it's good to be back here at Paul B. Gay Stadium. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a century since you and I have been here. Last game we called here was the state quarterfinals.
Man, something like that. It's been state quarterfinals sounds right. Of course, that was a magical run last year all the way to the state championship game for the Yellow Jackets. And this is a team that hopes to make a run like that again. There were some concerns as we kicked off this season. Lee County, even though they got out of their first couple ball games with victories, people were looking at the scoreboard, and it wasn't necessarily what they expected. However, there's a couple things at play. One, this offense has gotten more efficient and more productive every week as we've gone on, in particular in the passing game.
Yep.
And when you look back at the two teams that pushed them early in the season, South Granville and Overhills, two pretty good doggone ball clubs now. I think South Granville and Overhills have had better seasons than people suspected they were going to, and maybe validate those scores that were a little closer than people expected.
You know, what a season, though. People were talking about Overhills was going to be garbage. Harnett Central was going to be competing for a conference championship. Those roles have completely switched.
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of football people about Harnett Central, and, all of the observers of this conference, had Harnett Central somewhere near the top of the conference standings, and they haven't won a ball game yet.
Yeah, it's rough. Lee County received the kickoff here at Paul B. Gay Stadium, returned back to the 30, returned by number 31, Anthony Smith. Lee County Yellow Jackets offense bringing the field up with the offense led by number 12, Will Patterson. Chris, Will's thrown for 739 yards and 7 touchdowns on the season. Kind of deceivingly. Yeah, he's got pretty strong stats already this year in the passing game. It's been a quiet one from what I've been told.
Yeah, they're trying to do more things with the passing game than they've done in the past. Not really a bell cow back like you've seen at Lee County. And here's a screen to open it up to Palmer. Palmer slips a tackle and makes his way near a first down. He'll have about 9 on the play. So 2 primary weapons in the passing game. You saw there, number 1, Kenyon Palmer, and the other is number 2, Tyreek McKendall, who had 3 touchdown catches last week. Yeah, Patterson didn't really get a fair shot in his first start playing in a quagmire at South Granville, but since then has come along and quietly starting to put the yards together. The production and the efficiency in the passing game keeps getting better and better and better. Oof. Had a man looking for Eli Garrison, and Garrison can't come up with it.
Well, Chris, and one thing that we noticed coming into the season, there was some discussion about was Lee County going to be able to run the ball efficiently. And that running game being led by number 34, T.J. Johnson, he has put a stamp on that very quickly. That young man can flat tote the rock. You'll
see that a lot of the junior running back, number 34, T.J. Johnson, there he goes with his first carry, gets 3 and has a Lee County first down. T.J. Johnson, I think undoubtedly at this point is the conference player of the year.
Without a doubt.
You're looking at a guy that's 600-plus yards on the ground so far. In addition, he is, 350 yards on the ground this year, but is also among the best defensive players in this conference as well. You'll see him at linebacker starring, and there this time he gets Garrison. Western Harnett trying to strip it out of there, but they can't do it, and Lee County will have another first down.
Chris, I'd actually highlighted on my rosters tonight T.J. Johnson, not only because of his offensive production, but the young man is coming in with 27 tackles on the season at middle linebacker. That is a stout number.
As an opposing coach told me, Johnson doesn't come up to tackle, he comes up to stick you. And he is a big guy, probably put on 25 good pounds in the offseason, and went from a guy who was a borderline varsity player to start last year to being one of the centerpieces of a very good 3A ball club here at Lee County. Patterson going to run it, gets positive yardage, will get about 2 on the play up to the 45. Lee County, I think it's fair to say that in a lot of these conference games in particular, if they were so inclined, could probably put their heads down, run the ball 45 or 50 times a game, and walk out with W's. However, they're not playing for a regular season championship. This is a team that wants to go deep into the playoffs. If you ask any player associated with this program, they'll tell you the goal is a state championship. And when it comes to postseason football, they're going to have more balance than just T.J. Johnson doing that right there. As he picks up 5, it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Chris, one person to watch on this Western Harnett defense, number 1, Miles Washam, which is the outside linebacker that is closest to us. He's coming in on the season, according to Max Preps. Now, I'm not 100% sure on these statistics or not, but he's coming in with 52 tackles.
That's a lot
on
of
the season. That's a lot of tackles.
It's a lot of tackles.
Now,
it also means your defense has been on the field an awful lot. There's McKendall trying to get through, and he's gone.
He is to the house.
You're not going to catch him. That's a touchdown, Lee County. Whoa, it's stripped at the goal line, and
that should be a dead ball.
Well, it's not going back as a touchdown the other way. There's a lot of things that could happen here, but that ball's got to be dead because he was down when he picked it up. But I said they wouldn't catch him. There was a strip near the goal line.
Number 2, Michael Vines from Western Harnett came down there and stripped that ball. I'm not 100% sure that this ref crew is quite comprehending what just happened there. But
I'm certain that they're not. Now, whether or not he was across the goal line remains to be seen. But the player that recovered the ball was definitely laying in the end zone when that happened.
Without a doubt.
So, strange things afoot. But one way or the other, Western Harnett with the big first big play of the game, and they'll set up shop in plus territory at the 49.
Somebody check Blake Culbertson's shoes.
Woof.
See if he's got some little Nas shoes on.
All right, Tristan Ung, the senior quarterback, is under pressure and is going down on first down. That's not just a sack. That's a big sack. Going to lose 15 on the play.
Number 54, Darren McCoy.
That's number 8. Sacks on the year, number 8 for Darren McCoy. Deron McCoy.
Deron McCoy, I apologize. senior defensive end there coming into the season with 14 tackles, 8 sacks.
And he's a guy that's kind of been a utility knife on that defensive front for a couple of years, but now's really solidified himself and making impact plays. He player of the game for the defense against Union Pines a couple weeks ago. All right, Ung now with 2nd and 25.
This Eagle offense coming out, trips formation to the wide side. Not really what we were anticipating seeing from Western Harnett. I was anticipating seeing a little bit
Pressure
of
off the edge. There's a screen in the middle, set up well, and stopped. Jennings on the play. That's Darian Jennings.
Coming in on the season with 24 tackles. Another stout performer on this Yellow Jacket defense.
And you'll probably see number 43 on the other side of the ball getting some carries at some point tonight.
Let me ask you, Chris, number 43, Darian Jennings, and number 44, Delmas Jennings. Any relation?
Yes, sir.
All right.
A lot of bloodlines on this Lee County team. And those Jennings boys are one of them. Tristan Ung from the gun, 3rd and long.
Western Harnett has no fire to get this ball snapped quickly.
All right, pressure's coming. And it's out there. McCoy bringing the pressure again. Ung gets rid of it. No flag on the play. Thought there might be one for grounding, but no such flag coming. And after the big break for Western Harnett, they go backwards and they'll punt it away here. You know, sometimes you get into a game, you get into a rhythm, you're in a groove, and you feel like everything's going well, and then some games start out with some kind of hokey play like that and kind of turn it on its ear. And I think we'll get this thing going right about halftime. What a wild play. And now Western Harnett looks like they're going to stay on the field. Surely they're not. 4th and 20.
Let's see if they're going to quick kick it here.
Something funky is coming in.
Number 2 motioning back, Michelle.
And there's a bad snap, and you get a little cute. And keep it up. It doesn't matter here. That's going Lee County's way. Lee County players trying to scoop it and take it to the house, not able to do so. But Western Harnett, after the big turnover, gives it back on a play that you got to question because Lee County doesn't do a lot of damage in the punt return game. Western Harnett may have outsmarted themselves there.
Sometimes you can try to get too cute, Chris. Sometimes you just got to get out there and do what you need to do.
All right, big touchdown pass came off the board on a great play by the Western Harnett defense to strip Tyreek McKendall at the goal line. But now Lee County set back up 1st and 10 inside the Zaxby's red zone. Looking across the middle, Patterson has his guy, and Palmer can't make the play. Great breakup there by Trent Botts, number 8.
Very good coverage there. Good man coverage by number 8, Trent Botts, my apologies. Trent Botts of the Western Harnett Eagles.
All right, 2nd and 10 coming up.
Ooh, sorry to look into that sun.
Yeah, that glare is coming, and that one's not going to go away as quick as the one across town at Southern Lee goes. Not any tree line across the way to break it up. All right, Patterson from the gun, takes a snap, hands to Johnson. Johnson around the left side, got space, running through people. That's a big man. He's down inside the 5-yard line. That's a Jacket first down.
The Jackets rolling right in to the Zaxby's red zone. Zaxby's a huge sponsor of high school sports and everything we do here at Lee County High School and Southern Lee High School, so we greatly appreciate all their sponsorships for everything that they do.
And that first down brought to you by Pentair Pool Supplies. Pentair, thanks for everything you do. We'll be checking in with Pentair's big man, Mike Fowler, the radio voice for Southern Lee football, checking in on that game at some point as they take on Harnett Central. And there's Johnson with the 4-yard scuffle for a touchdown. Jackets are on the board first, 6-0.
Chris, what an oddity here at Lee County tonight. No scoreboard.
No scoreboard.
No scoreboard. Hey, we don't see that very often.
No.
Not sure what's going on there. I'm sure that'll be fixed before next week. Lee County lining up in their nice swing door that they do.
Oh, and they're going to snap it to Johnson. Johnson running over people. He'll convert. And instead of 1, they get 2. It's 8-0 Jackets. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our mind, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there.
Visit us online at classicnissansanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Welcome back to Paul B. Gay Stadium here in Sanford, North Carolina. You are watching the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac. Our Lee County Yellow Jackets got up early against the Western Harnett Eagles, 8-0. We don't know how much time is quite left in the first quarter due to no scoreboard, but nonetheless, Lee County coming out strong. Had a quick little mishap with a fumble in the end zone.
It wasn't seamless, but they eventually got down there and scored. All right, Kennedy Hernandez, who was the onside kick, and goes 10 yards, fine lead. Looks like Western Harnett got it. If that had a – no, they –
Yep, Western Harnett got it.
Okay.
Recovered by number 40. Don't have a number for him.
Kennedy Hernandez, who was the Scholar Athlete of the Week this week for the Yellow Jackets.
Lee County High School, who's not usually one to get cute on special teams, coming out with a 2-point conversion and then an onside kick. Have to wonder if that dynamic that happened.
Man. Consequences.
Yeah, has to wonder if last night's conflict between the two contributed to Coach Bordeaux's play calling so far.
All actions have consequences. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm sure you'll ask him Monday night on the Zaxby's Coaches Show.
I'm sure I won't get an answer. Ball at midfield for Western Harnett, and the officials given a sideline warning to Lee County. Defensive coordinator Andre Jacobs having a conversation with the official on the near sideline.
Defensive coordinator Andre Jacobs, what a nice guy.
Well, he is a nice guy.
Kind of throwing me for a loop with that red hat. I know he's doing it to be able to be seen to get his play call in, but I believe I might would have picked a different color for tonight.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not a yellow hat, to be honest. All right, Ung with the handoff up the middle, and good yardage, near a first down for the ball carrier there. Number 4, Elijah Bass, who is most of the offense for this Western Harnett team.
Number 4, Elijah Bass, coming in on the season at running back, 245 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Also among the leading receivers for this ball club. 14 catches for 87 yards. So you'll see Bass as often as they can get it to him. The junior tailback is a man of many talents.
Western Harnett lined up in a 2-back set in a little bit different formation.
Tried to draw the Jackets. Looks like they did. Officials will get together and confirm here. I think that the defense jumped.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So on 2nd and 1, 5 will get you a first down. That's another Pentair first down for Western Harnett. And they'll continue to move. All right, this Eagle program, you're very familiar. Had a chance to play against them as a coach for years. Not a whole lot of success down there as far back as the last decade, really.
Yeah. Western Harnett has not been a force to be reckoned with since 2017. They are 4-33.
Pressure coming right up the gut. Ung sails it over top of everybody.
To give you a few statistics here that I pulled up, in North Carolina 3A football, Western Harnett is ranked 108 out of 110.
Yikes.
Sorry, not 110.
110?
Well, no, I said 110. 110, 108 out of 110. And then all of North Carolina high school football, they're ranked 357 out of 418. And the only reason they're not ranked lower is the other teams haven't played as many games to lose.
Not good.
Not the statistics that you want to have.
No, they're really not.
In comparison, Lee County High School in the state of North Carolina is ranked number 30.
All right, Bass has it again, going around the right side. Oh, C.J. Johnson coming across, laying wood.
And in North Carolina 3A football, Lee County is currently ranked number 9, according to Max Preps.
And you left out perhaps the most important of the rankings in the Raleigh region. Lee County's up to number 4.
There we go.
I suspect they'll get to number 3 and maybe to number 2, but by the time we get to the postseason. But yeah, number 9 in all of 3A. Strength of schedule is not doing them any favors right now, frankly. But Lee County is a team I think that most folks in the state suspect will go undefeated through the regular season. And it's just a matter of how much respect this program gets for its sort of heritage at this point. That's what a lot of the voting is going to be based on. Darren McCoy gets through a hold and gets his second sack of the game. Tristan Ung brought down for a 13-yard loss, and you've got 3rd and a mile coming up here.
Number 44, Delmage Jennings on that tackle. What a play by the young man.
Oh, did I try to give his sack to Jennings?
You did.
I
That's
think
okay.
I did.
That's okay.
Oh, my fault. All right, 4th and 20 plus. Punt team is out. Eli Garrison deep for the Jackets, number 3, who's getting more and more time on the field.
Number 3, Eli Garrison, junior wide receiver and strong safety, back to receive this punt.
He strikes me as sort of the heir apparent. Oh, bad snap, and boom.
Oh, big play by number 8.
Landon Johnson. Landon Johnson coming through. That was number 9. It looks
was
like an 8.
number 9. I
promise.
apologize.
How you miss Landon
I
Johnson? He's like
apologize.
7 feet tall.
You're not wrong on that one. We do have a flag on the play here about the 44-yard line.
And it's a hold that's going to be declined, it looks like. But Landon Johnson, big defensive end, part of this stellar defensive front for the Yellow Jackets, got through there. Bad snap, and the punter had just a split second after he corralled that to know I'm about to get knocked out.
All right, Chris, over under. How many plays before Lee County scores? I'm going to set the over under at 7.
Oh, under. I'll take it.
Under. Taking the under.
Taking the under.
Taking the under here. I'll take the over. We'll make it interesting.
All right.
Lee County lining up in a doubles formation. TJ Johnson in the backfield.
Patterson takes a snap, looking down the seam. Has Palmer, but overthrows him, led him a little bit too far out of bounds. Palmer, I'm surprised, frankly, how big of an impact player he's become in this offense. The transfer from Southern Lee did great things for Southern last year,
Absolutely.
and came over here, before his junior year, and 6'1", 187, seems to be a little bit quicker than we remember him being. Real fluid athlete, and really is sort of not the number 2 receiver, but really kind of the 1A receiver out here. There's the number 1 receiver, Tyreek McKendall, who's dancing, powering through people, and has about 12. And obviously no grudge held by the coaching staff for the fumble at the goal line just a little while ago.
Pretty sure that was the same play call.
That's play number 2, by the way.
There's play number 2.
So that'll be a Pentair first down just outside the red zone. Yeah, McKendall's still the undisputed number 1 in this offense, but Palmer brings a little bit different skill set. He's a little bit more of a quick twitch guy. Probably quicker. I wouldn't dare say faster. And Palmer's just kind of fit right in, and for this year in the Garrison with a catch. I just said he's getting more and more reps, more and more looks. He's got a first down catch inside the 10. That'll be inside the red zones, or Zaxby's red zone, and set the Jackets up with a 1st and goal from the 9. Garrison, one of those guys, man, that just makes plays. And like I said, Jackson Lamb is a senior this year for Lee County, that at the receiver spot and at the defensive back spot has always just found a way to make plays. Not the fastest guy, not the strongest guy, but just a ball player. And there McKendall atones and has a touchdown for the Lee County Jackets, and the under wins that.
There we go. Was that 4?
That was 4.
That was 4. That is another Yellow Jacket touchdown. Folks, if you can't tell, we are anticipating a blowout tonight. We're going to try to make some side discussions and side jokes, try to make this broadcast a little bit more entertaining for you all
right.
at home tonight.
14-0 Jackets at some point in the first quarter. As Mr. Cochrane said, we're not able to know what the official time on the field is because the scoreboard's not working. All right, so they come out of that gimmick formation, and they'll set it up, and Hernandez will kick this thing apparently. Apparently.
You never know with Lee County High School. I would assume a PAT here.
Yeah, Hernandez, of course, coming in and replacing a really accomplished kicker, Trey Underwood, who
was one of the – he was like, what, number 2 in the state, 3 in the state, all-time leading, something like that?
He is top 10 in scoring.
Top 10.
And Hernandez really hadn't missed a beat. He's doing his thing.
So that is a Yellow Jacket first down to make it 15-0 here in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break and be right back with the kickoff.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week. Lee County up early, 15-0 on the visiting Western Harnett Eagles. Kennedy Hernandez to kick off. Nate?
Yes, sir.
This is a beautiful night. Oh, there's a short spinner. It'll be fielded by Western Harnett. No fair catch. A little surprising. And ball carrier spinning. And it'll be brought down at about the 41-yard line for Western Harnett to take over 1st and 10. Beautiful, beautiful night. However, when I got up this morning, my wife asked me, have you been outside yet? Now, first of all, I just got out of bed. And I was like, what are you, huh?
So the
She's
answer
like,
obviously
you
was
just have
no.
to look outside. And I'm like, what's going on out there? Is it snowing? Is it 100 degrees? You know, what's going on? Have we been invaded by squirrels? And I opened the door, and I knew exactly what she was talking about because everything in the front of my house was yellow.
Yeah, the pine.
The kids are home right now. 4 cars in the driveway, and you couldn't tell the difference in color between any of them.
My nice black truck that I just got detailed last
Yeah.
week. Now it's a yellow caboose.
Yeah, it's that time of year. All right, Tristan Ung takes a snap, drops, pressure coming. There's Jennings again. Oof, gets it out of there. Oof, and fumbled, but picked up by the receiver.
Number 13, Ian Bristow on the catch there for the Eagles.
Bristow, 207 yards on the season, 3 touchdowns.
He was also the returner of that kickoff a second ago. Mr. Bristow seems to be a little bit of impact player. This Eagle offense is getting a little bit of movement that we weren't necessarily anticipating. We don't usually see Western Harnett move the ball a ton. I've had a couple first downs already tonight.
Well, Ung's
Chris.
been the quarterback in this system for a couple years now, and I think having, you know, we've talked about it in years gone by. There's so much value in having a senior quarterback. There's a screen, flipped out there to Bass, and great read by the defense. Landon Johnson led a crew of Jackets over there, snuffed that out. There's so much value in having a senior quarterback. First of all, they're, you know, a year older, so they're bigger and stronger.
Yep.
What they see, you're not going to throw anything at them that they haven't seen with a couple years in the system. And Ung is one of those guys, and you can tell this is not a guy that's going to beat you down the field, but he's not going to make underclassmen mistakes. And you know, they obviously at this point know what he can do well in this offense, and thus far doesn't look horrible.
Lee County lining up in a 4-2, jumping off sides.
So
again,
the tackle for loss on first down, they're going to give all that back, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
This Lee County team having a couple of undisciplined penalties already to start the game here in the first quarter. It's the second offsides that they've had.
Well, there's some changes in personnel coming. One had something to do with the other. But this Lee County team deep, especially on the defensive front, they'll just rotate bodies at you all night. And if Western Harnett lets this thing get any bigger, this margin get any bigger, Lee County just pin their ears back and make them miserable. Going down the field, throwing into double coverage, and picked. What a play. What a play by Carlos Hancock. Wow.
Carlos Hancock read that ball right from release. You can see him tailing it. Got underneath it, made a play on the ball. Great play by number 6, Carlos Jennings there. Carlos Hancock, my apologies.
Senior defensive back, been in this program, been a contributor for a long time, but really becoming an impact player. And apparently, is this going to bring us to the end of the quarter? Or they just have a timeout on the field?
Did Western Harnett decide to start with a running clock?
Well, I think they're having a conversation. Nope, they're going to mark the ball when we're going to flip ends is what's going on. So that is the end of the first quarter. And with that, we'll take a little break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
Welcome back here to Paul B. Gay Stadium at Lee County High School in Sanford, North Carolina. You are watching the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac. Our Lee County Yellow Jackets up 15-0 on the Western Harnett Eagles, beginning of the second quarter, right as Lee County takes over the ball.
So a couple big plays in the game. The Yellow Jackets been on the good side of most of those. The one exception being the forced fumble at the goal line that was returned about 50 yards right back to midfield by Western Harnett that looked like it might make it a little interesting there for a moment, but it's been all Jackets since then. Will Patterson coming out, and we'll go the over-under this time. I'll give you 7.5 as the over-under here. You taking the over or the under?
I'm taking the over.
All right. You have no confidence. All right, McKendall on the toss. And if he can get ahead of steam, he can do some damage. Drags the tackler out near a first down. They're going to give him 9, and it'll be 2nd and 1 for the Jackets.
I have confidence in Coach Steve Bordeaux just trying to run the ball and start working his way down here. One thing we're going to want to keep an eye on tonight is the substitutions. You hit on it during the pregame show. How long does Coach Steve Bordeaux and his staff keep their starters in and start rotating in guys with a big game coming up on Monday night against Triton for most likely going to be the conference championship? How long does he keep them? Obviously, first half, we're not going to see much substitutions of second stringers, but you have to start to wonder, second half, could this start happening pretty quick?
Going down the field, looking for Jackson Lamb's. Got him. Lamb breaks out of a tackle, and he's going to the house. That'll be, don't give up. Don't give up.
Oh, he put a ball on the ground.
Oh, my goodness. Jackson Lamb tracked down.
That is a Western Harnett touchback.
He goes
second touchdown pulled back.
82 yards, but he needed 83.
Oh.
And Western Harnett forces the fumble. This time they'll get the touchback. Man, oh, man, oh, man.
Those Satan cleats, I'm telling you.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen.
I believe I could be wrong, but I believe that was again on the breakup number 2, Michelle Vines from Western Harnett. This young man can do a little bit of it all.
Great play by Lamb to go up and get it, then to rip free.
I thought my over was
and
all
he just
done.
ran out of gas near the goal line. Great effort by this Western Harnett defense again, and the score stays intact, 15-0. Western Harnett 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Who would have thought going into the second quarter, Lee County would have 2 turnovers already
at the 1-yard line? There's Bass with the carry,
and still be winning the ball game.
Yeah. It was not Bass on the carry. Who got the tote there? Number 6, looks like.
Xavier Jackson on the carry. I have him as a primarily defensive player at what is recorded on Max Prep at 67 tackles on the season. Have to wonder if there's a little bit of home cooking on that number.
You know,
that's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, but when you play as much defense as these guys do, anything's possible, and somebody's got to make the tackles. All right, Ung from the gun, tosses. Bass stuck in the backfield, going nowhere. Landon Johnson and the rest of that left side of that Jacket defense gets there, makes a stop, 3rd and long coming up for the Eagles. Man, oh man,
wow.
Oh man, I'm blown away.
What a wild
I
game
don't
already.
know that I've ever seen that happen twice in a game at any level. You see it once in a blue moon where a hustle play forces a turnover at the goal line. And, man, twice in one half of football. That's bananas.
And give it to Western Harnett. Had guys not only one to catch up, make the strip, but another to go in and fall on it.
Yeah. Goodness.
So, Western Harnett Eagles defense keeping this team alive right now.
All right, 3rd and long. Had a man, but the pressure's coming. Johnson,
he's living life in the dangerous world.
And that's
Big
picked and going the other way. Tyrick McKendall. Touchdown, Jackets. No. They're having no luck around the goal line. They're going to mark McKendall out.
No way.
They're going to mark McKendall out at about the 1-yard line. Man, boy, I tell you, from the 1 to the 1, Lee County playing a perfect ball game inside the 1-yard line. Man. McKendall with a head of steam. There's a lot of things in life that I want. I don't ever want to be on the other end of Tyreek McKendall running directly at me. That's a big man.
Number 1, Tristan Ung from the Western Harnett Eagles. Bad decision. We just talked earlier tonight about how he's a good senior quarterback, makes good senior decisions. That was not one of them. Leaving that ball up, throwing it off his back foot was not the right choice.
All right, watch what Coach Bordeaux does here. He's going to line up McKendall at the quarterback spot here.
Hey, I bet he's going to run
and let him get his touchdown.
I bet he's going to run A-gap.
He's going to run A-gap. There's no doubt. There he goes. And powers through, wrapped up. Doesn't get it on first down. He's about a foot short of the goal line. Watch him. They're going to do it again.
Got to give it to Coach Bordeaux.
That's why these players love him. You make a big play like that, and you take it all the way back to the one. Why not let the guy finish it off? All right, McKendall from the gun in their quarterback. It's funny. I had a chance to talk to Tyreek this Monday, and there's McKendall running through. They don't stop him this time. Touchdown, Tyreek McKendall. That'll stretch the lead out to 21-0. I asked him, of all the ways that the offense that coach tries to deliver the football to you, what's your favorite? He said, I don't care. I just want the ball. And I followed that up with what I thought was a great question. If you were the offensive coordinator for the day, how many touches would you get? He's like, I don't know. I'd run out of hands to count. And I believe that.
Big-time players want the ball in their hands.
Yes, sir. And he's a guy, this Lee County team, there aren't a whole lot of freshmen that come up and have an impact as ninth graders in this team, in this program. And McKendall now going to get the 2-point conversion. And it's 23-0 Jackets. We'll finish that thought on the other side of the break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
Pentair, empowering people to move water, improve water, enjoy water, so that people can live their best, healthiest lives. Lives with purpose, lives with enjoyment, lives that flourish, lives with hope. Because at Pentair, we're not just about better water. We're about better life. Pentair, bringing water to life, for life.
Welcome back to Paul B. Gay Stadium here, Sanford, North Carolina. This is the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac. Chris, where are y'all going to be this week for the Zaxby's Coaches Show held on, I'm guessing, on Wednesday here
Classic
at
Nissan on Wednesday, I'm told.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we got 2 weeks of games for Lee County to discuss. I bet.
Well, we'll be busy, and when I say we, I mean me. We will be. Are we at Triton or are we here? We're here.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here on Monday. All right. So if you're trying to plan your week next week, we're going to be at Lee County as they host Triton in what could be the championship game for the Tri-County 6. And then Wednesday, we will do the coaches show at Classic Nissan. And then on Friday, we will be here in Lee County.
We will be at Southern Lee for the Brick City Bowl. Our producer,
Schleprock, pulls
Tim
it out.
Copus.
All right. Tim Copus pulls it across there.
Well, we've got a busy 9 days, too.
We do. What are you doing on Wednesday? I might need you to do the coaches show, and I mean that for real. All right, Tristan Ung from the gun, hands, and that's Bass. Fumble.
Ball's loose.
And picked up on the run. Lee County going the other way. Carlos Hancock trying to put his stamp. Oh, that's number 5.
Number 5, Jaden Marshall.
Jaden Marshall, last week's Defensive Player of the Week. Trying to keep up with Carlos Hancock, and Tyreek McKendall comes up with the fumble recovery. And already up 23-0. Lee County set up 1st and 10 in plus territory. Now, I asked Coach Bordeaux this week how much this would play into his thought process as far as rotating players in and out, and I honestly didn't get the impression it was going to be very much. They play a lot of guys anyway, and I think that they'll stay with the starters most of the way. I am interested to see if they go with Patterson all night or if they try to get – there's McKendall wide open.
Coverage.
And blown coverage. McKendall runs through.
There's his 3rd of the night.
And that's the 2nd touchdown plus a 2-point conversion. Tyreek McKendall on the play goes for 44 and a touchdown. It is 29-0.
Oh, here we go. We'll be hitting the running clock for too long for everyone at home. Running clock starts at 40, if I'm not mistaken.
Or if both coaches agree. I don't think these coaches are going to agree on much right now, to be honest.
I think Steve would probably say no running clock.
All right, kick is up. Kick is good. That's Hernandez with the extra point. It is 30-0. Lee County Yellow Jackets doing what they intended to do. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week. It's been all Lee County Yellow Jackets, the home team wearing the blue, moving from left to right against the visiting Western Harnett Eagles. 30-0 midway through the second quarter.
Some point in time in the second quarter.
The stadium clock is inoperable tonight. And Hernandez kicks it deep. It'll be fielded there. And the return man will be dumped down at about the 28-yard line. Ian Bristow on the return.
Young man, we hear his name a lot.
So if you're Western Harnett at this point, you're down 30-0.
Don't ask a tough question.
You'd have to play for a month to score 30 points on this defense. Do you play it conservative and try and get this thing rolling, keep the clock running, or do you open it up? Do you run your offense as normal? What's the plan from a coach's standpoint, Nate?
I usually try to stick to my plan for the first half. You know, if I'm getting blown out already, which definitely happens from time to time, I try to stick to my plan first half, see if we could get something working. Second half, I started thinking about what I was going to do the next week, started installing a couple offensive plays, whatnot, for that second week.
The hand to Bristow. Nice little play there. Picks up about 4.
Now, head coach Blake Culbertson there at Western Harnett High School, I don't know what his tendencies are on this situation.
Well, it's got to be a level of frustration, because even the most optimistic coach knows you come into a game like this, it's a relative mismatch.
Relative?
And you can be as optimistic and break out as the greatest speeches you want to, but your players kind of get what's going on as well.
Yep.
And that's disappointing. Short gain on the second down carry for Bass there, 3rd and about 3 coming up. Big rotation of personnel there for the Jackets.
We're seeing a rotation from the Jackets. It appears to be pretty much every play. We've got guys running in and out.
Well, we've talked about it a couple of times, and I've talked to it with a lot of coaches from around the area. Last year, you had 2 legitimate D1 playmakers on that defensive line for the Lee County Yellow Jackets, Des Evans and DeAndre Prince. Those guys have gone on and are now playing. They were first-year impact players at the college level. There's Bass into the secondary. Nice little run. And fumbles it again.
Puts the ball on the ground.
And great play by number 12.
Carl Collins.
To pick that up.
Carl
the Jackets
Collins
were trying to go. They were trying to run the other way with it. Diego Guevara had a shot at it, wasn't able to come up with it.
Oh, I bet Coach Andre Jacobs, defensive coordinator for the Yellow Jackets, is not thrilled that he did not fall on that ball.
Young men trying to make plays. I get it. All right, so they're across midfield. This is the first time they've run a total of 1 play from inside Jacket territory, and that was after the first of the fumble recoveries. And they promptly took a 15-yard sack. We'll see if Western Harnett can stay in Lee County territory a little bit better this time.
Chris, one thing we haven't mentioned yet tonight is the quality of field here at Lee County High School. Previous head baseball coach and coaching legend Charlie Spivey has done a phenomenal job taking care of this field. Looks like we have a timeout on the field.
Western Harnett wants to talk about it. While they do, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
Hi, William Turner, General Manager, Crossroads Ford Sanford. We're moving metal in March. I know you're thinking madness, but these deals are insane. Like thousands of vehicles in our network. While everyone else is pulling back with the discounts, we're not. Best price, best service, best experience, period. Come see me, the deal maker. Come and get that big town deal with that small town feel right here at Crossroads Ford in Sanford.
Welcome back to Paul B. Gates Stadium. This is the NFHS Game of the Week here. Lee County up big already against the Western Harnett Eagles. The unknown amount of quantity of time left in the second quarter. Western Hornet knocking on the door, though, on the Lee County Yellow Jacket side of the field.
Well, I don't know if they're knocking on the door, but GPS says your destination is ahead.
They're heading in the right direction.
They'll be okay. 47 yards to go, and you got some Yellow Jackets down there might have something to say about whether or not they're knocking on the door. But the point I was making before the break, last year's defensive line for Lee County is about as good as you're going to see at the 3A football level. 2 Division I products, including the #1 recruit in the state, Desmond Evans, and double reverse coming, looking to throw, heaves it down there's got a man, defender gets his head around and cannot make a play. Wow, what a delivery. The backup quarterback, Trent Botts, gets it down there to
number 2, Michael Vines.
What a doggone play.
What a play.
All right.
By the Eagles. The Eagles, with a Pentair first down, found their way into the Yellow Jacket and Zaxby's red zone.
All right, so first and goal from the 5. Nice play.
Very nice play.
And Botts stays in there to play quarterback. Interesting. Let's switch. Tristan Ung, the senior, is out in favor of Botts, another senior.
Sorry, incorrect.
No,
sophomore.
Sorry, there you go. All right, Botts going to run and going nowhere. Whew,
T.J. Johnson came in like a maniac.
Johnson came in, and Jennings came right behind him. They do not want to give up a touchdown here. A shutout is meaningful to this defense, I promise you.
Well, in Lee County, we are fully anticipating them running the table. I feel like tonight's fairly decent wrapped up. Needing to run the table, and they are still playing for
seeding.
Definitely. You know, and seeding with a short schedule this year and a lot less non-conference games will definitely come down to how bad they won, which way or the other that falls. And so they're definitely looking for a blowout tonight.
Well, and we talked about, all right, there's Botts going to roll, pop pass, and couldn't quite get it to Bass. 3rd and goal coming up from about the 6. We talked about it. So Lee County is the number 9 team in 3A.
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you figure you split that in half because you got the East and the West playing in separate brackets, your seeding in the East is going to come down to 32 teams in the East, 32 teams in the West. All right? Now, that means that Lee County's a 4 or a 5 seed in their region right now. There's a big difference between who you're going to have to see along the way as a 4 or a 5 versus a 1 or a 2. So this means something. All right. Ung back and hands it to Bass. Bass is going to get in there. Touchdown, Western Harnett. So, still life.
Still alive. The Western Hornet Eagles marching down the field with a little bit of trickery and a little bit of power there. That is Western Hornet touchdown. They are now down 6-30.
Yes, sir. All right, and they're going to line it up to kick here, it looks like. Good job. I mean, you got to give it to these young men. First of all, you had the 2 big plays where they chased it down, forced a fumble, and then they come back and they put points on the board before halftime.
Number 30, Caleb Woods on the extra point attempt here for the Yellow Jackets. I did not pull stats on him.
Senior kicker, 150 pounds.
Terrible.
Well, and if he got that up in the air, it might have been blocked. McCoy was there with the pressure.
That is Western Hornet touchdown, making it a 6-30 ball game. Yellow Jackets in control. We'll be back right after the break.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Welcome back to Paul B. Gay Stadium here. This is the NFHS Game of the Week. Our Lee County Yellow Jackets are taking on the Western Hornet Eagles of Lillington. Western Hornet just put points up on the board, which no one anticipated them doing tonight, to make it a 60-30 ball game with a little bit of time left in the second quarter. Won't be long. We'll be going to halftime.
They did, and I want you to look at something, Mr. Cochrane.
Uh-oh.
So we've talked about, in fact, I just had somebody, I overheard somebody downstairs say, this looks like a championship field, and I couldn't agree more. But I want you to think about something for just a little bit. There is still a bit of a crown on this field, but not nearly. Wow, big return coming into space. That's going to the house. Maybe we don't want to make an early call again. And down to the
He's in!
Touchdown, touchdown, Jackets!
Number 31, Anthony Smith on the kick return, bringing it all the way back. We do have a Yellow Jacket down about the 32-yard line.
Smith, who's gotten a couple of reps at the tailback position, trying to put his foot down, jump up on a table and say, hey, coach, I can run. All right. All eyes on the injured Jacket.
Number 42, Diego Guevara, down on the ground at the moment with local legend, Mr. Womack. He's been fixing kids from injuries and ailments for more years than I've been alive. I've got pretty strong faith in that.
He's on his feet. Going to guess it's an ankle here, but hopefully it's nothing major as he's helped off. So Western Harnett makes a big play, gets on the board, cuts the lead to 30-6, and just like that, the Jackets come back with the kickoff return. Anthony Smith with the big return. Good wheels, good vision, man. Well blocked up. That was money.
Making it a 36-6 ball game at the moment. Fish see what Lee County does. They kick the extra point.
All right, I want to take a second as we're, they're kind of, the pace is slowed down. Number 75 lined up at tackle on this extra point try. Number 75, that's sophomore tackle.
Tyler McMullen at 6'3".
What did I say?
75.
Yeah.
Tyler McMullen.
Yeah, TJ McMullen, 6'3", 322. I had a chance to talk to his offensive line coach this week, and he says that's as good an offensive line prospect as rolled through here in Lee County in anyone's memory. And that's saying something, because there's some just big-time football players that come through here. But as a sophomore with that kind of frame, that kind of build, as he improves his technique, not the guy that's going to get any headlines, but maybe somebody that these D1 scouts are snooping around to talk to very soon.
Well, the size of 6'3", 322, he has the body and the frame that they could really put some weight on him. That's a lot of what Division I football coaches are looking for an offensive lineman. They're not just looking at immediate ability, but their ability to put on weight, their ability to add more to the frame of them. So we'll be interesting to see. Sophomore starting here at this Yellow Jacket team. Be one to keep your eye open.
Yeah, we know this Jacket team, they're warriors in the weight room.
Absolutely.
I shudder to think how strong that young man is.
And will be.
Yeah. All right, here's Hernandez with the kick. It's a high spinner in no man's land. It's going to touch down. Bounces, a funky bounce, and snatched up. Nice pick. A little dangerous there. Number 12 on the return, Carl Collins again. Collins, who made the big catch earlier. All right, and Western Harnett will be set up shop at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10, trailing 37-6.
Western Harnett being led back on the field. Does it look like Mr.
Ung is back in there?
Ung is back in there.
So Bott's got the sequence and did most of the damage, or a lot of the damage, on the way to a touchdown, and for his troubles gets to go back to the bench.
Number 5, Calvin Wickland there, making quick pace to get off the field.
All right, switching it up on the defense here. All right, Ung under pressure, chased down by Johnson, and throws it. Oof.
Dangerous throw there.
Throw. Now, it started a couple of times to talk about this defensive front. DeAndre Pringle, Desmond Evans last year got all the publicity, and there were a lot of great players around them as well. This year, there are a lot of people, a lot of observers feel this is a more effective front for Lee County, because instead of just lining up and letting those guys out athleticize you, they're actually doing more things with the scheme. They're bringing pressure from different angles, and it's playing havoc with teams, because at least, you were going to get beat before, but you knew where it was coming from. Now you got people coming. The linebackers are blitzing more than we've seen in recent memory from Lee County for sure. And there's a flag on the play.
We've got a late flag coming in. Not sure if it was a hold.
But your thoughts about that observation with Lee County, is that crazy talk, or you better serve just to be able to line up and bring pressure with 4 all the time?
I think Lee County got very, very good at lining up and bringing 4 last year when they had so many great defensive linemen that they could do that. This year, their defensive line is still very good. It does not have the top-tier athletes that it did last year, but as a cohesive group, it works very, very well. Looks like it's going to be a
personal foul.
Personal foul.
All right.
You know, we talked about this last week in the Union Pines broadcast, or it might have been 2 weeks ago. But I think Coach Andre Jacobs has done so much with this defense this year, being able to bring blitzes from different gaps, different sizes. They're stunting a lot more than they have in previous years. So I love it. I think he's done a phenomenal job with this group. And this seems like a very cohesive group of players here. Last year, sometimes it seemed a little me-ball type situation. What a pop. What a pop. And this year, this cohesive group of defensive players, they flat bring the rock.
They do. And you saw T.J. Johnson kind of embody that right there as he came through the hole, and Bass went backwards immediately. All right, 1 yard gain for Western Harnett, 2nd and 9 coming up. 37-6 the score here in favor of Lee County.
Lee County lining up in that always strong 4-2 defense here.
All right. Bristow with the carry and maybe a hold. Ball comes out late.
Number 1, Miles Washam from the Western Harnett Eagles falling on that fumble. Western Harnett having a hard time keeping the ball firmly in the basket tonight.
It's not cold. There was a bit of a breeze earlier, but not a whole lot going on now. It's a beautiful night. Maybe it's the pollen.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with the pollen. That sounds reasonable.
All right,
that pine pollen, as you can see on our far pine trees. Nice yellow buds making their appearance.
So Holt's going to back him up. And it's a spot foul, so that's going all the way back to the 41.
Number 13, Ian Bristow, toting that rock like he wanted no part of this Yellow Jacket defense. The previous play.
All right, 2nd and 19 coming up here for the Eagles. 3 wide right. Lone receiver down here on the left is Carl Collins. Ung backs, looking for a screen, blown up. Jennings on the tackle, come flying through there. That's the younger of the Jennings boys.
That makes a 3rd and a country mile for the Western Harnett Eagles. If you're going to beat this Lee County team, I think you're going to have to do a little bit better than screen there. This Lee County defense not giving up a lot of points this year, playing good disciplined football. It's very easy sometimes for defensive linemen to really get rolling on the quarterback when they see him unguarded by the offensive line. Great disciplined football there.
All right, Ung on 3rd and long here. See what Western Harnett's got up their sleeve. Drop straight back, looking for a screen again. That's backed up. Landon Johnson gets a hand on that, and that'll bring up 4th down. Western Harnett will be punting it away. Got to be close to the end of the 2nd quarter here.
Lee County, another great defensive stand there. How many first downs have they given up tonight, Chris? 3?
Not many. 3 sounds right.
I think 3 is the number so far.
And credit to Western Harnett. Like I said, they made the 2 great hustle plays on what looked like touchdown. They came back and they're lined up to go for it on 4th and a mile. Now they're gonna try this pooch kick thing again as they line up Vines at the quarterback spot, and it's blocked.
And it's blocked.
So all of that to keep from getting it blocked, and it blows up, and it is recovered by McCoy, and that'll be Lee County set up in plus territory. Duran McCoy doing a little dance out there, feeling it. 37-6. They're going to try and punch it in at least one more time here before halftime. So one of the things you talked about that they're stunning, they're running twists, they're playing games with the defensive linemen, they're blitzing linebackers, they're doing different things with that defensive front. One thing that Coach Jacobs, the defensive coordinator, and head coach Steve Bordeaux attribute that to is the time that they spent on Zoom this year. There's Kenyon Palmer scrambling, breaking through tackles, running over people all the way down to about the 8-yard line. 22 on the catch for Palmer, who puts his stamp on this game. They attribute it to the time that they missed for COVID because they couldn't work out, they couldn't do anything, so what they could talk was scheme, look at film, and they were able to expand what they were going to do when they showed up.
You got to give to this Lee County coaching staff here. A lot of staffs kind of hung it up and got lazy during the COVID quarantine. We know of a couple of staffs that just didn't host anything for months on end. Lee County High School kept these kids engaged, kept them busy. Every time I talked to Coach,
good pressure by Hall. by Western Harnett there as they drop Patterson, back at the 14-yard line.
Every time I talked to Coach Steve Bordeaux, I would call him and he'd text me and say, I'm in a Zoom meeting, call you later. And this was happening day in and day out for months on end. So great job by this Lee County Yellow Jacket coaching staff to keep all these kids engaged in a terrible situation.
Yeah, and beyond that, I want to give a shout-out to folks out in the community who made sure that these young men, without access to the weight facilities here on campus at Lee County, had some place to work out. There were people that opened their doors and made sure that these guys that needed to get on the weights could do that. Patterson skips it up there looking for Garrison. Good coverage by Western Harnett. So 3rd and goal from the 12 coming up. Yeah, a lot of these guys, youth coaches, parents, whatever, made sure, and they came together. And you saw that this Lee County program is a family.
Absolutely.
I had a conversation with a local businessman, and he talked about, the fundraising that goes on, the boosters that are here. Everything is kind of hitting on all 8 cylinders and continues to get better. And then you see the finer points of it. You look at the grass, and it's beautiful. You look at the press box, and it's been redone. Last year they went through and they pressure washed the visitors' bleachers over there. It's the small things. There's no piles of junk in the corners of the stadium. All right, JoJo Jennings going to get about 3, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and the kick team looks to be coming out. Yes, it is. So up 37-6. Jackets look like they'll concede and go for the field goal here. And those are the finer points those are the expectations you have when you're talking about a quality championship football team.
Absolutely. When you talk about a program, you talk about community buy-in, you talk about administrative buy-in, athletic director buy-in, coaching buy-in, your kids buy-in. It takes a lot of people to make it very successful. Oh, kick is wide.
An unexpected miscue from Hernandez, and the score remains 37-6 on the missed field goal.
So we were talking back, it takes a lot of people in a lot of different positions to really make a football program year in and year out successful. Lee County Yellow Jackets, you walk around here tonight, you see teachers, you see administrators, you see athletic directors, you see everyone is involved in game night. This is, in all intensive terms, a know-nothing game, right? Everyone knows it's going to happen, but you see all of these key players that played a part in all the success here tonight, rocking and rolling, doing what they can for these kids, which is what we should see week in, week out.
And when was the last time with Lee County that you heard that a player wasn't going to be able to play because they had something going on in the classroom with grades or with discipline or whatever the case might be? It doesn't happen over here. You've got you've got 13 coaches in that building that are interacting with the staff, and they're keeping track, and they head things off before they happen. It's really fantastic. It's phenomenal what's going on with this program. And
all led by Coach G. Bordeaux.
Yeah.
He is the captain of that ship, and he does a phenomenal job.
And give a shout-out to Reggie Peace, who's the longtime faculty member over here, who's the athletic director. As it applies to the football team, they are all in here at Lee County, and it shows. Is that going to bring us to the end of the second quarter? I think it is. That's going to be all. It's halftime here at Lee County. Jackets up 37-6. Maybe not as bad as it could have been.
We're on pace for 72 to 12. So
well, we'll get a running clock in there at some point. I imagine Lee County with some things to talk about. It'll be. I'd like to be a fly on the wall down there, but it's going the right direction and relatively healthy. Although Diego Guevara went out with an ankle, and we don't expect him back. We'll be back after this break with we'll wrap up the first half
with the Classic Nissan halftime shows. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Pentair, empowering people to move water, improve water, enjoy water, so that people can live their best, healthiest lives. Lives with purpose, lives with enjoyment, lives that flourish, lives with hope. Because at Pentair, we're not just about better water. We're about better life. Pentair, bringing water to life, for life.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our mind, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
Visit us online at classicnissansanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Welcome to the Classic Nissan Halftime Report.
Welcome back here to Paul B. Gay Stadium. This is the Classic Nissan Halftime Show. Lee County up 37-6. Leading into the third quarter, this ball game, all Lee County. No, I'm sorry, 36-7.
37-6.
37-6. So Lee County, leading by all intents and purposes, has this game pretty much in the book already. Moving forward, Lee County, what's some good that you've seen, Chris? What's some bad that you've seen?
The passing game. Passing game has gotten a lot more efficient. Patterson able to deliver the ball on time to his receivers, and it's not just Palmer, it's not just McKendall, and you know, with a lot of these passing offenses, you look at the statistics, and it's hard to tell. You know, how many of these balls are being delivered, 4 feet from the line of scrimmage. Patterson and this Lee County offense, they're actively attempting to create a more vertical passing game that really stresses a defense, because they can always come back and run the tunnel in the bubble. They can do it all night. They've got the athletes. They can execute it. They can execute it in their sleep. So I like what they're doing, and I've seen them a couple times now against competition where they're trying things because they want that as they move forward. You saw in the championship game last year against Weddington, Lee County got into a game where they were behind, and when you get them out of a situation where they can run the ball comfortably and throw the little screen, they really, over the last few years, when you put them in a tough position, have struggled to get the ball down the field. Patterson has really moved into this, and I know this is heresy because of Colin Johnson and the statistics and the success that he put up while he was here as a starting quarterback. But there legitimately are people around this program who felt like Will Patterson at this point in his career maybe had a little bit more arm talent than Colin Johnson. Now, he doesn't have the wheels that Colin Johnson had, but those wheels for Colin Johnson didn't show up until his senior year. So you look at Patterson, what he's doing now, and you assume that he's going to have that much more comfort in the offense. He's a good athlete. He's a big kid.
Yep.
He can likely do the things next year that Johnson was doing as a senior as well. Now the question is, how much of that can he do over the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks as we move on? You know, state championships are going to be played on May 8th. I don't know if you knew that date, but May 8th is when the state champions are going to come. That's 5 weeks from now.
That's not long.
And I mean, this is a compressed schedule, but Patterson is the key to this offense. They don't have a bell cow back like they've had in the past. Jameer Smith moved on to Notre Dame, doing his thing. A.J. Boulware came behind him and was one of the most productive backs in the state for 2 years. This year they came in with a running back by committee. B.J. Brown, the freshman, came in and excited everybody in his first game, but he's out with a wrist injury, and they don't know what the prognosis is going forward. T.J. Johnson sort of pressed into duty, and I say that I don't want to mislead anybody. They knew that Johnson would get a significant amount of carries. However, what they don't want in the playoffs is Johnson trying to play 100% of the snaps on defense and do 80% of the ball carrying on the offense.
Yep.
That's not good for that young man. So you've got Johnson and Jennings who are kind of splitting some carries. I think what we're going to see in the second half, and let's see if I'm not wrong, I bet you that T.J. Johnson doesn't get a carry in the second half, and that you see a rotation of Jennings, of Smith, and of Ingram trying to figure out who's going to be the other guy that can carry the stone in this offense as they move forward. And I don't think they're going to try to run up the score, but I do think they'll try to hit some throws down the seams. I think they're going to try and hit one outside because this passing offense is a key for their success in the postseason. Defense can play with anybody in the state.
Absolutely.
And they're showing it. They fly around. Most of these guys, when they get hands on you, they're going to tackle. They can cover. They can cover as well as anybody around. They've got heady guys that they can plug in at the safety spot who will never let anything behind them. There's nothing not to like about this defense. Now, there's not the marquee guy. There's not a Des Evans. There's not a DDP like there has been the last couple of years. But when you look at Landon Johnson, you look at McCoy, you look at the Jennings guys, these guys can play.
Yep, and you're right. There's not that one all-star this year, but all of them together are a very, very good cohesive defensive unit. This is a scary defense.
Well,
this is a very scary defense for all opposing teams.
I was thinking as I watched them line up, they play a lot of 3-4 in this defense.
Yep.
I cannot imagine at the 3A level lining up to face two bigger, badder linebackers at the middle spots then when they line up with T.J. Johnson and JoJo Jennings at linebacker, you've got two tremendous athletes that can go sideline to sideline, and heaven help you if they get to play vertical. Because if they're coming downhill, somebody's getting popped.
That's right.
Those guys
That's
don't
right.
miss. They're great young men. They're great ball players, and they're both underclassmen. And looking at those two guys who both, I mean, between the two of them, T.J. Johnson at this point, if I had to guess, is about 230 pounds. And he has put on so much weight, all of it good. He's a heady player, a lot of 7-on-7 ball over the offseason. T.J. Johnson was the MVP at a lot of these things. These guys have come a long way. They are the heart and soul of that defense. Defense is playing championship-level ball. The offense is a step behind them, but everybody's offense that we've seen this year has been a step behind.
That's right.
And that's attributable to the COVID lockdown and all the rest of that. So Lee County's got a couple games. They've got this one and 2 more ball games in the regular season to get ready. You can say with certainty at this point Lee County's going to host at least 1, probably 2 games. That 9 spot that they're in 3A, they need to bump up. They need to get up a couple
to
spots
a 5 or 6
so that they can host 3 rounds of games.
Absolutely.
All that traveling, it throws a monkey wrench into everything. And this facility, you want people to have to come here to play on a Friday night in the postseason.
Absolutely. Looking back at this game, Western Harnett coming forward, they have 1 game left against Union Pines to wrap up their 0-7 season. And I have to wonder here, what are they going to do the second half? Are they going to throw some more wrenches in? Really, their one big play, their big shining moment was a trickery reverse pass.
That was a nice play.
It was a nice play.
Well executed.
It's a nice play. You can't bank on that happening every night, though.
No.
And so, have to wonder what they're going to come out and work on getting better at next week for Union Pines.
I have to tell you, and you know Coach Lonnie Cox down at Union Pines, he's not a guy that is going to look past the game.
Absolutely.
But we have had a conversation about Western Harnett, and it's no gimme. A team like Union Pines is, from a physical and speed standpoint, they're a step slower than Lee County. They're a little bit smaller than Lee County. He does fear these athletes that Western Harnett rolls out there, and you'll see it. These guys can make some individual plays. You don't run down Jackson Lamb and Tyreek McKendall on a touchdown like that unless you've got athletes. You're not able to take a play that takes 10 seconds to develop like that reverse unless you've got athletes. So in a game like Union Pines, where that offense is not clicking on all 8 cylinders,
not at all.
Western Harnett, if they make a few plays and get some guys into space, could turn over the apple cart and mess everything up for Union Pines, who still has hopes of going to the playoffs even with the conference loss.
Union Pines, who's playing Triton tonight, has a real big game. If they win this,
oh yes, sir.
That we don't want to say they're in the playoffs yet, but they've got a decent chance. I think that loss to Pine Forest will hurt them. But
it doesn't help.
Nonetheless.
But my prediction is that the winner of the Triton Union Pines, and we'll get updates for that game throughout the second half. But my prediction is the winner of the Triton Union Pines game is going to the postseason.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to be that team is most likely going to be a 1-loss conference team playing in a conference with one of the best 3A teams in the state. I think whoever wins that gets in, assuming they handle business the rest of the way. We'll see.
We'll see. So, anything else to wrap up before we take a quick break and get back to the field not too long?
Nope. I'm just sitting here. I'm looking at my jacket here, and I'm wondering if there's anybody associated with Puma out there. I need a sponsorship deal. You see, I'm rocking the black and white Pumas today. The Puma suedes are my thing. I've got about 15 pair, different colors.
Okay.
So, Puma, if you're watching, give us a call. We can come up with something, and we can do something. No, we're great, man. Wrap us up, get us out of here, and let's get ready for some football.
This has been the Classic Nissan halftime show here at Paul B. Gay Stadium. Lee County up 37-6. We'll catch you on the other side for the second half here at Paul B. Gay Stadium.
Pentair. Empowering people to move water. Improve water. Enjoy water. So that people can live their best, healthiest lives. Lives with purpose. Lives with enjoyment. Lives that flourish. Lives with hope. Because at Pentair, we're not just about better water. We're about better life. Pentair, bringing water to life, for life.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich, All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our mind, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. All you do is win, win, win. Put your hands in the air when you go to
Visit us online at ClassicNissanSanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions.
All right, here's the kickoff to open the second half. Small, it's a spinner. Bristow falls on it at the 35-yard line.
Number 13, Ian Bristow. I feel like we've called his name 400 times tonight already.
Yeah, Bristow getting
Western
touches.
Harnett Eagles.
Getting touches. All right, we'll see who's in at quarterback. Tristan Ung, the senior, leads the offense out on the field. We talked during the halftime show about the athletes for Western Harnett. Western Harnett, we say this about lots of programs, and it's usually code word for programs that underperform.
Yep.
But it's true about Western Harnett. Western Harnett always has athletes.
You know, Chris, and you have to wonder, and I don't mean to stir the pot here, but you have to wonder, you know, is the emphasis put on this football program when they're canceling JV games week in, week out, when you've got athletes?
You know, I don't know, man. You can look at it, and part of it is a district issue in the Harnett County schools, and you know that.
Yeah, they're kind of out of nowhere.
I mean, they're out of nowhere, and you've got a county that's open enrollment.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you have athletes out here, but you don't see a whole lot of big athletes, and that's, you know, part of the issue.
So if you're a big athlete in Harnett County, do you go to Overhills?
I go to.
Is that your one?
Man, I don't. I might find my way to Terry Sanford, to be honest. All right, Ung checking his wristband. Lights haven't come on all the way yet here, and probably ought to pretty soon. Looks like they're warming them up. I didn't know that was a thing anymore. All right, here comes the pressure, and gets it out of there. Almost picked.
Whoa.
Oof. Almost picked.
Bad decision
on
there.
The play, number 22. Rodney Ingram.
My man, Rodney Ingram.
And I tell you what, Rodney gets his hands on the ball. He knows what to do with it.
Big baby's what we used to call him. Not because he is a baby of as an insult. He's just a super nice guy.
Ingram,
super nice young
Ingram,
man.
a young man who's at some point along the line is gonna get an offer to go play small school ball. I can feel it in my bones. He's the other. We talked about Kenyon Palmer, number 1, who's lined up at cornerback down here on the near side. But Rodney Ingram was the feature back at Southern Lee for the last couple of years, And that's Bass out close to a first down. Depends on the spot. They're going to have him about a yard short.
He was an all-conference back, if I'm not mistaken, at Southern Lee High School.
Yes, sir. And, probably for the last 2 years, the second best back in the conference.
Absolutely.
And given everything that happened and all the moving around and everything else, Ingram, one of those guys that ended up having to transfer and transferred over here to play his senior season at Lee County. And the fact that he doesn't do a lot at the tailback position speaks to the depth and the talent at Lee County. But Ingram has carved out a spot for himself as a linebacker. All right, under center. And
Lee County showing the house.
Surely you're not going to try to sneak this. Nope, going to toss to Bass, going around the right, wrapped up, going nowhere. And Rodney Ingram and the rest of that left side get there to get it done. Jennings and Johnson and Ingram all roll out. Landon Johnson gives Rodney Ingram a high five on the way out. Ingram a little bit smaller than the other linebackers, but no shortage of athletic talent in that young man. And just an upstanding kid. I mean,
oh, what a great kid.
He'll play ball somewhere.
I coached him back his freshman and sophomore year, I guess just freshman year at Southern Lee High School. Absolutely adore that young man.
All right, Patterson going to kick off the third quarter here at quarterback. I'm interested to see how much he plays. All right, the toss is to Johnson. Johnson with space. Picking up ahead of steam. Nice tackle in the open field there by Western Harnett. Number 6 on the stop.
Xavier Jackson.
Very well done. Like I said before, that's a lot of young man you're trying to tackle there.
And you can see him. He starts getting ahead of steam about the time he turns the corner, and he is not afraid of contact. T.J. Johnson there toting the rock with a little bit of anger. He runs that ball angry.
Well, he does. And, we talked about, Coach Bordeaux maybe trying to sub guys out. He's actually some of the substitutions are interesting here. Jaden Marshall, who plays a lot of the time on defense, checks in at receiver. And Johnson plows ahead, is going to have a first down. Needed 6, got 7. And that'll be a Pentair first down for the Jackets. So the guy in particular that I'm interested to see if they get reps for today is the JV quarterback, Mark Schlesinger. And the reason for that is specifically he didn't get to play in the JV game this week because there was no JV game. And he's not a guy that's played – I don't think he's played it all yet this season with the varsity, so you're not into a quarters issue with him.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see if they get Schlesinger into the game in the fourth quarter. We'll see. Keep your eyes on that. Number 8.
Big sack there for number 8, Miles Washam, coming off the outside edge there on the far side linebacker position, coming out making a big tackle, making it a second and a almost country mile for this Yellow Jacket offense. Chris, we were talking earlier about community buy-in for this Yellow Jacket football team. When we were doing our halftime show, lo and behold, who pops his head in?
Marshall with space. He's a dangerous athlete. He's going to have it all the way down to the 20, close to a Jacket first down, and they're going to give it to him. They get about 20 on the reception, and that's a Jacket first down, brought to you by Pentair.
Chris, back to my point, though. School board member Pat McCracken, longtime public announcer here at Lee County. How many football teams can say they have a school board member that works every one of their home games?
Not very many, and Pat does a great job. All right, Patterson drops, looking over the top. He's got a man wide open. Jackson Lamb. He dropped it. Oh, we just had a conversation, Jackson Lamb and I, a week ago. What are the hardest catches to make? And that's what he told me when you're all alone.
There's no one.
He did it a couple weeks ago against Union Pines, and that one's going to haunt him. Score remains 37-6. Jackson Lamb puts it on the ground, and he's not going to be happy. Have you seen the snap photo? I'll have to send it to you. I'm sure you haven't seen it. There's a photo from last week's game against Harnett Central with a Harnett Central defender trying to tackle Jackson Lamb in the open field, and there's a helmet flying the other direction. And Jackson Lamb, not a guy you think of as a big, strong kid, but, man, he's a ball player.
Jackson Lamb, though, what a playmaker for this ball team.
Great ball player.
I feel like he's been here 100 years.
It seems like
he just seems year in and year out just make big play after big play. Obviously, right there, not the biggest of his plays he's made, but nonetheless, he's definitely on the positive side.
Yeah, and I mean,
if
you walked into an English class, he wouldn't be the guy you'd pick out of there. He's not the biggest young man, but just a gritty football player who's got a good nose for the football and has made play after play after play for this team for years. not the least of which was Cleveland in the playoffs last year, where really that changed the game right before halftime. All right, this is Jennings. JoJo Jennings in there at tailback running through people. And on 3rd and 10, picks up about 14, and that'll be a Yellow Jacket first down inside the Zaxby's red zone.
I have a feeling you made the prediction at halftime. I have a feeling you're pretty spot on there, Chris. We're going to start seeing a committee running backs, a little bit of everybody toting this rock to round out this ball game here.
And part of that will be to keep Johnson fresh. The other part is they just need more reps for other guys. All right, there's a pop pass to Garrison. Garrison around the right side, going to outrun the defense. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Eli Garrison on the carry, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And that's a guy I talked about early in the first quarter. He's one of those guys you can't keep off the field and reminds me a lot of Jackson Lamb. Can do a lot of everything well, and you just can't keep him off the field.
Absolutely. Lee County going to come back out in their swinging gate here.
All right, 43-6 is the count right now. McKendall, they're going to come out of that early, and Kennedy Hernandez will line up to kick the extra point. A lot of work for Hernandez tonight. Not perfect, though. He missed the field goal real late in the first half.
Definitely had the length, just was a little wide.
Yeah, plunked it right off the left crossbar, or left upright, and that one's straight, true. And good catch on the backside by the ball boy back there in the.
That makes it a 44-6 ball game here at Lee County High School. This has been the NFHS Game of the Week. We'll be back for a quick break.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week. Lee County hosting Western Harnett. Lee County in the blue, up big 44-6 early in the third quarter. And at this point, you're starting to see significant amount of substitutions from the Yellow Jackets.
Lee County giving Western Harnett a pretty decent shellacking so far. But in other news, this should be about a 58-6 ball game.
Yeah, it should.
So
yeah,
there's that.
All right, return man spun out of bounds by the Jackets. And if you can back out for us for a second, Tim, catch that sunset, the last little bit of that. There you go. Look at that.
What a beautiful night here in North Carolina for fall/spring football.
That is, man, that is something else. You know, when my wife and I got together, I wasn't a North Carolinian. I've only claimed North Carolina's home for about 10 years, but we, you know, in talking about the benefits of moving one place or the other, whatever, she told me how tough it would be to give up the Carolina skies, and I was like, what are you talking about? And now
beautiful.
I'm 100% with it.
They're beautiful.
All right, Western Harnett, more substitutions for this Lee County defense. Brandon Ung slings it out to the right, has a man. Oh, and Bristow with his first miscue of the game puts it on the ground. Like to have that one back. Would have been close to a first down. But yeah, that sunset right across the way, man, that's beautiful.
You know, this year's just been a year of insanity, seems like, since last time we were here. We're playing football on a Thursday night, April 1st at Lee County High School during regular season. But on a positive note, we're watching Lee County win this ball game, and we got a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, and speaking of April 1st, man, I woke up today to news that Roy Williams is retiring, and I assumed, oh, you're not going to get me.
Yeah.
And then my phone blew up, and people telling me, not April Fools, Roy Williams is retiring. How about that, man?
He's been in a long time. He's been a head coach. I saw statistics today, something like 30 years. 33
years, Roy Williams, man. One of the greats.
The third time all-winningest coach.
And now you can begin in earnest to stack his career up against Dean Smith and try and figure out who's the greatest UNC coach of all time. And there'll be some folks out there that can make a good case for Roy Williams. And I know that's heresy here in North Carolina, but, man.
He's got more wins.
Nice break up there. It looks like Hancock on the play.
But Dean Smith, had to end his career a little bit shorter than most.
True.
So, I don't know. I'm not a Carolina basketball or football fan, so I don't really have a dog in this fight.
All right, 4th and 12. Lots of hijinks from the Western Harnett punt team so far. From the traditional, they're going to come out and play it straight this time. They've tried to line up a guy short and do a pooch kick twice. Once the snap never made it there, and it was recovered after about a 20-yard loss to turn it over. And then the last time it was blocked. This time they're going to get it there. And I tell you, these long snaps, this was actually pretty good. And did they get there? They disrupted it, but I tell you, it's a minor miracle that he got it out there over the hands of Landon Johnson and Tyreek McKendall. But the ball rolls dead at the 47-yard line. And Lee County will bring that offense back out on the field. Looks like the starters are back out there, including T.J. Johnson at running back, which I'm a little surprised by.
I'll tell you there, Chris, old White Hat on the Zebra crew had a little bit of mercy for Western Harnett. There was without a doubt a false start on that offensive line of Western Harnett. When the lineman started up on the ball and came back, once you get set, you can't come off the line of scrimmage. He even motioned and looked over to the side judge and then said, no, don't throw the flag. So a little bit of mercy here given by the White Hat.
All right, Patterson drops, looking down the left side. He's got a man blown coverage, underthrown, and caught.
No.
Kenyon Palmer caught it about 3 times down at the 25-yard line.
That ball, in all intents and purposes, should have been intercepted, though.
28 on the reception for Palmer. Yeah, great play to get into the right position. Just not able to make a play, and Palmer with great concentration hauls it in.
Number 32, Austin Podexala on the coverage there. Is that a good guess on that? Podexala? We're going to go with it.
I think it was
But
perfect.
an even better play by Kenyon Palmer to take that back shoulder, get that ball caught and wrangled in.
All right, JoJo Jennings checks in at tailback. Patterson from the gun. Fakes to Jennings. Now going to keep it himself around the left. And misread.
Botched play.
If that was
dangerous.
an RPO. He didn't read the keys right. Jennings should be running to the right still. And we've seen, it's hard to tell. Are they running the RPO? Is it just a misdirection? I don't know, but that didn't go well, and you lose 5. And when you pull the stats for Lee County, the one thing that jumps out at you is the negative yardage for Patterson. Now, those are the sacks are included there, but he's up around minus 100 yards for the season at this point. Patterson drops, throws it out quick, got Garrison. Garrison scurries all the way down to the 20.
Looks like we'll have about 3rd and 6 here for the Yellow Jackets.
Garrison having a great game, isn't he?
Hey, he is having a very good game. We might get to see him, or I might get to see him, depending on the situation Wednesday night at the coach's show at Classic Nissan. We might get to see him and give him a little bit of hardware.
Could be. You never know. All right, Patterson from the gun, 3rd and 5, maybe 6. Gets it out of there. There's McKendall. And he's got to seem blessed, blocked up nicely. And look at McKendall.
And
I tell
McKendall
you what, you want to talk about blocking downfield. That thing didn't look like it was going far, and then white jerseys just went flying everywhere as those receivers and linemen got into the act and blocked that thing up about as well as it could be blocked. And that'll stretch it out to 50-6.
We've got to be in a running clock here now at Paul B. Gay Stadium. We can't tell you how much time is left, but we are at a running clock now at this point.
And I'm just trying to figure out how far am I from Zaxby's, because a spicy chicken sandwich sounds about right on here shortly.
Lee County puts another score up, 51-6 here at Paul B. Gay Stadium. We will be back after a quick break.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on our mind, we can never get enough. Every time you step into our building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. All you do is win, win, win. Put your hands in the air when you go there.
Visit us online at ClassicNissanSanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Welcome back to a beautiful April 1st here at Paul B. Gay Stadium in Sanford, North Carolina. This is the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac. Chris, what a good day. Thursday night, we have a beautiful sunset. Today was opening day of MLB baseball.
It was.
My Chicago Cubs dropped a goose egg against the Pittsburgh Pirates, lost 5-3.
Oof.
We've got Final Four basketball coming up before we know it. It's a great time of the year.
Life is getting back to normal more quickly than I thought it could, and the sports world is they're doing their thing. And what you left out in there is the NBA is in full swing. A lot of people complaining about these super teams that have been put together. You had the buyouts, and LaMarcus Aldridge goes to the Nets, and Andre Drummond goes out to the Lakers. But I'm loving the fact that you've got 4 or 5 teams in the NBA that have a legit chance to win a championship. I'm a huge NBA fan, and I'm fired up about that. But so the Final Four is set now.
Final Four is set.
And I'm here to tell you, folks, look,
Gonzaga.
if there's a team better than Gonzaga that's played this year, I haven't seen them. Anything can happen in the Final Four, and ball carrier's wrapped up by this jagged defense who's, they're just playing lights out tonight.
All right, so your championship game, who is it?
Oh, man. What are the matchups? Let me think about that. What are the matchups?
Houston and Baylor? Or is it Gonzaga, Baylor?
It's Houston-Baylor.
Houston-Baylor and Gonzaga and –
Houston can't beat Baylor. So assuming that we're correct, it's going to be Baylor and Gonzaga, which probably is what it ought to be. Those are probably the 2 best teams in the country this year. And no offense to Michigan. I'm an Ohio State guy. People know that I am. However, Michigan, they didn't pass the eye test for me this season. But Gonzaga, man, they're good. And Walker Kessler coming out there from UNC this year, who had limited playing time. If you didn't watch a whole lot of UNC, Walker Kessler is a guy that a couple years from now may legitimately be the first player taken in the draft, and he's headed to Gonzaga? Come on.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Now, I will say, Chris, I was thinking about you and your old show From the Cheap Seats on my flight back from Austin Tuesday night, and I was thinking about a certain bet that was made between you and Brandon Atkins concerning the Indianapolis Colts and a payment of wearing Michigan Wolverine gear.
I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
curious if that ever made an occurrence in the COVID world. If I recall correctly, it was supposed to be on a broadcast, right?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Did that ever make an occurrence?
No.
Okay. Here we are. So, for all of our listeners at home, expect to see our very own Chris Delambert in Michigan wear at some point in time. Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows?
We'll see. There are murmurs. we may fire the cheap seats back up here before too long. But yeah, that's one of those that never came to fruition. I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
No comment. All right, 4th and 11 here for Western Harnett, and troubles in the kick game. That the last one got out of there just barely, and Lee County's bringing the house on these punts, which I really like. Don't let up. All right, there's a timeout for Western Harnett. They see the alignment for Lee County, and they know that the house is coming. They want to talk about protection. We'll let them do that. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Welcome back to Paul B. Gay Stadium here in the third quarter. Lee County in the driver's seat again. We didn't cover a lot of Lee County first half of the season. We went and spent some time with Union Pines, spent some time with Southern Lee. Really enjoyed our time there. I have a feeling here on out we're going to be seeing a whole lot of Lee County. Oh, Landon Johnson eats him alive.
And it looks like on the recovery, Lane Townsend, I believe, got the recovery.
Junior wide receiver and safety.
There, playing some special teams. Landon Johnson came through and ignored the football on the ground and got him some punter.
Got to love it from the young man. You talk about a talent pool that's deep, that Johnson family. Good gracious, they got 1,000 kids, and all of them are really good athletes. Landon Johnson, the little brother of Colin Johnson, the previous quarterback from Lee County, who lost 3 games in his high school career here. 2 or 3 games, 4 games. Wasn't many, 3 games.
Never lost a regular season game.
Whoa, mishap.
T.J. Johnson on the handoff there, and some issues in the run game here for Lee County. That's something they'll want to work out.
Great athletic play there by T.J. Johnson to get on that ball, though. Good gracious. Went after it with aggression.
And I'm trying to make sure we got the right call, anticipating on these receivers. Some guys we don't see a lot of. Kendrick Cox is checked in at quarterbacks, or at wide receiver here on the near side, number 4. All right, Patterson looking, got a man. And you see that throw into the seam there, and that's number 15 who just had the recovery.
Lane Townsend
with the reception. That's a junior wide receiver that might be his first catch of the season. I'd have to go back and verify. But, yeah, they got some talent we don't see a heck of a lot of, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. It is 51-7 Lee County, and we'll be back with 12 running clock minutes of football.
And
right
then
after
some Zaxby's chicken.
Yes, sir.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
Welcome back here to Paul B. Gay Stadium. Lee County 100% in the driver's seat of this bus. We've got 12 minutes of running clock left here at Sanford, North Carolina. NFHS Game of the Week brought to us by Wilkinson Cadillac. A few other people that we haven't mentioned tonight that we usually do. Crystal Copus with Remax, a huge sponsor here for us. New Image Media and all that New Image does. So if you need a home in Lee County, I know there's a shortage of homes, but if you need someone to find you one, Crystal Copus is the lady. She is the person to go see about a home.
And
so
her area of influence and expertise is not limited to Lee County. If you're looking, that's going to be a procedure call, as Lee County was running an offensive lineman out on the field very late. Patterson didn't realize he only had 10 men plus the guy coming up behind, but he was moving forward at the snap, and that will cost you. However, wait a minute. No, they're going to wave the flag off. And they're going to get a timeout. Coach Purdue lobbying for that.
Crystal Cope, as you were mentioning, not only dominant here in Lee County, but she has grown to Apex and Wake County, if I'm not mistaken.
So they can hook it up, man. So, Coach, let's talk about Coach Steve Bordeaux for a little bit.
My man.
So he took over from a legitimate Hall of Fame legend in Burton Cates.
Yep.
And really kind of an unknown quantity. Hadn't been a head coach before. Came up here and had immediate success.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling at the time from a lot of people was he might parlay this into a bigger job. And what's happened over the last 3 years is this has become that bigger job. Because everything that Lee County did over the course of the last 10 years or so, the way they're clicking right now is really top shelf. And this really, at this point, is one of the legitimately best 3A programs in the state. And they're not going away. You know, we're talking about a class last year that has their quarterbacks playing college football. You've got 3 guys off that defense that are playing D1 ball. You got guys from both sides of the ball that are playing the procedure call there. I'll back them up again. A little sloppy here from Lee County. But you've got guys from all over that team last year that are playing big-time college football. And this junior class that's here at Lee County. Now, first of all, you got some great seniors here. Jackson Lamb, Jade Marshall, Duran McCoy. Those guys are great football players. But this junior class, headlined by T.J. Johnson, Tyreek McKendall, these guys are going to play wherever they want to play.
Absolutely.
And when you look at the JV guys, when you look at the weight that they're able to pack on these guys now down on the JV level, this program is on the level of, under through T.J. Johnson, or would have had a touchdown. He kind of lollipopped that out there. Maybe could have zipped it in, and that'll bring out we're going to get that change at quarterback. Mark Schlesinger, I called it in the fourth quarter. One play in, is now in at quarterback. And this is the JV quarterback making his debut on 3rd and 15. Thanks, Coach. Put me in a heck of a spot.
You know, though, this is a great time for Mr. Schlesinger to get in the ball game with them not playing a JV
and he's going to run it. And plows ahead. It was 3rd and 15. That's going to get them about 3, and they may be playing to get into field goal range, and that's what they were doing. So they got positive yardage, and this is going to be right on the edge of Hernandez's range. Be a 35-yard kick. He can go from – they tried him from 37 and didn't quite get it earlier in the season. So Coach Bordeaux knew what he was doing there. But my point with Lee County is, at this point, given what's happening with the facilities, given what's going on with the community involvement in the program and the athletes that are there, and it is not going to quite be there. Needed 35, got about 34. Hernandez comes up just short on the field goal attempt. But the question at this point is, where would you go from this program?
Absolutely.
And within the state, sure, there are a couple places that, some of these 4A programs that might make a run at him, let's say Charlotte Catholic comes calling. But I don't think there's any danger in Coach Bordeaux going somewhere else when you can compete for a state championship every year at the 3A level.
And he is getting all of the support, it appears, from the outside looking in, all the support he could ever want. I mean, we talked about this earlier tonight. You look around the stadium, half of the people here have Yellow Jacket gear and they're working for him in one capacity or another. So you talk about community buy-in from boosters to local businesses to the school board. It is all in with Coach Steve Bordeaux here at Lee County High School. Why would you leave?
Yep. Now, I'm concerned that his right-hand man, Coach Andre Jacobs, the defensive coordinator, is not going to be a defensive coordinator very much longer. He's going to have his pick of jobs over the next couple of years, and for good reason. Because not only is he a great X and O's guy, but he understands what it takes. He's watching this program develop and overthrows everybody. Good coverage downfield. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Eagles. Jacob's a guy, if I'm a high school administrator somewhere and I need a new football coach, Jacobs is on my very short list. And if he finds the right fit in the next year or two, wouldn't be surprised to see him go on and have success as a head coach somewhere.
I have no doubt that Andre Jacobs at some point in time in his career will be a very successful high school football coach in North Carolina or elsewhere. I think he could go pretty much anywhere he wanted in the country and be very successful. I'd hate to see that duo broken up, though. Those two are fun to watch together.
Well,
have you ever got to talk to him on the coach's show?
Not on the coach's show. He's not come and done the coach's show. I have talked to him. He was on Cheap Seats with us back in the day on a couple of occasions. Great guy. Super guy. All right, on 3rd and 10, Ung keeps it, and they're going to mark him out a little bit shorter than I thought. They're going to give him 6 on the carry, and it'll bring up 4th down.
I met him once. It's the only conversation I've ever had with him. Met him once at one of the nonprofit organizations that was donating cleats to the Lee County program. He and Coach Steve Bordeaux, right when they both came into Lee County, came to pick up a pile of cleats for these kids. And you talk about a nice guy. Holy smokes, what a nice guy.
Great guy.
Both of them.
And the kids love him. He obviously knows what he's doing. The success is demonstrable on the field with what they've done with the defense here. And, all right, a little wonky lineup here for the Eagles, who are dying in the punt game here. They got 2 up backs. They've got this short lineup, and they're going for it. There's the throw, and he overthrows, misses a guy, throws into double coverage, looking for Bristow. Didn't give him a chance, and had the ball been on target, it probably would have been picked and taken back for 6. So the Lee County offense comes back out with a short field up 51-6.
Appears to be at about the 26-yard line. Marching right in. Won't be long. They'll be in that Zaxby's red zone.
All right. So Schlesinger got in and burns a quarter at quarterback for one play.
But he doesn't burn a quarter because they didn't play a JV game this week. So that does not burn one of his 8 quarters.
There you go, giving knowledge, brother. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. If you don't play a JV game, you don't burn a quarter.
All right. So Patterson back in at quarterback. Hands and tough sledding for the back. In at tailback now is Noah Johns, who's gotten a handful of carries. The junior's 5'9", 177. He's one of those backs that can get in behind the line of scrimmage and just hide behind those linemen.
Sneak in there.
And I mean that in all seriousness, because this is a big offensive line, and Johns is not a Good pressure from Western Harnett. Got Patterson a little antsy trying to hit that screen and unable to connect, looking for Kendrick Cole. And 3rd and 10 now.
Kendrick Cox,
I'm sorry.
Sophomore wide receiver here for the Yellow Jackets. Have to wonder if he's another JV kid that they brought up who they had 8 quarters throughout the entire year, brought up for this game only. I don't know. I haven't watched the Yellow Jackets JV team this year.
It's given us a chance to look at some things. And I'm watching T.J. McMullen lined up at right tackle for this Lee County offensive line and watching him pull. And there goes Johns. What a nice little burst from the guy.
Explosive right there.
Yeah, picks up 12 and has a Lee County first down inside the red zone. Couple of sponsors there. Zaxby's bringing you the red zone coverage all year, and Pentair sponsoring first downs this season. But, yeah, McMullen pulling there, just sort of dipping a shoulder into guys as he went through. That's just a big man.
Number 75, the right guard, T.J. McCollum, or Tyler McCollum. Is it T.J.?
T.J.
T.J. or Tyler?
T.J.
Tyler
Tyler,
McMullen.
but they call him T.J.
A big young man.
And you're right, he is lined up at right guard. My mistake. All right, there's pop pass going around the right, cuts it back up the middle, and taken down. That is Anthony Smith, who's made plays all over the place tonight, not the least of which was the kick return touchdown earlier in the game in response to the Western Harnett touchdown.
Lee County lining up for about a 2nd and 8.5 to 9 here. We're seeing a lot of substitution on this Yellow Jacket. I don't want to put an over and under on scoring anymore.
Yeah, 51-7. The clock's running. We don't know exactly how much time's left in the game. They're not in a lot of a hurry. John's fighting through tackles, breaks a couple, and gets it down near the 10-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down coming up. Yeah, not clear on how much time is left in the ball game, but it is interesting to see these players that Lee County is cycling into the ball game to get them reps. We talked about that. There's a lot of things, a lot of layers to that. First of all, they didn't play JV. It was last-minute cancellation, so they're trying to get some of those guys who would have gotten JV snaps into the ball game. But the second thing is they play again in 4 days.
Absolutely.
Which is a quick turnaround. It's the quickest you can do in North Carolina football.
You have to have 3 days of rest.
All right, there's the screen. Oof.
Which I have to wonder, was this game always going to be a Thursday night game, or did they move it back one night to accommodate?
It was always going to be Thursday night because of Good Friday.
Because of Good Friday. Okay.
And that's why they were able to squeeze that Monday game in, because if you remember the game that's going down against Triton on Monday, we didn't at the time think that they could squeeze it in because there were no open weekends with this short schedule. And Coach Bordeaux said, we're going to play that doggone ball game.
Makes it
work. They were able to make it happen. Hernandez with the kick. This time he's got plenty of leg, and it is through and good, and that'll stretch it out to 54-7. Lee County. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
Pentair. Empowering people to move water. Improve water.
Everybody's live scoring it.
Enjoy water.
And I don't have anybody down there.
So that people can live their best, healthiest lives. Lives with purpose.
I think they're at Irwin.
Lives with enjoyment. Lives that flourish. Lives with hope. Because at Pentair, we're not just about better water. We're about better life. Pentair, bringing water to life.
4,
for life.
3, 2. Wilkinson, year in and year out, huge sponsors of Lee County football, both Lee County and Southern Lee, huge advocates for both schools, and Lee Early College. We can't ever forget Lee Early College. Yeah, they're on the campus of CCCC.
Don't leave them out. I've got a house full of Lee Early College alums right now. As my kids are home to take their COVID vaccine, and 3 for 3 on Lee County Early College attendees. But yeah, the Wilkinson family, not just with the sponsorship they do for the world to see, but also with the Booster Club. The Wilkinson family, big motor behind the
Absolutely.
The steak dinner sale, that's always a big success.
Was very disappointed this year that had to do it. You can just go pick up your plate. Was very disappointed in that. But nonetheless, my wife won a free oil change from Wilkinson.
Look at there.
That night. So there we go.
All right, Western Harnett with about 2 minutes to go. We get word from the rest of the press box over there. The official timekeeper's got about 2 minutes left. Clock will start running here on the snap. And Ung drops, pressure coming, throws it over the top, and didn't want any part of that. He just got it out of there and threw it 10 feet out of bounds. All right, so Western Harnett going to drop to 0-6 on the season.
0-6.
And they've got left on their schedule
Union Pines.
UP.
Yep.
And we wish, more than anything right now, we had an update on the Union Pines Triton score, but we don't. We've been vigorously trying to find a score with no success. That is a big ball game.
So anyone out there,
ball's out.
Anyone out there listening?
Yeah, if you know,
if you're listening to us while watching Union Pines, feel free to give Chris or I both a tweet or a message or a Facebook message,
sure.
Whatever you can do. Get us a score real quick. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Again, if Triton wins that ball game, then Monday's game against Lee County is the championship game. If Union Pines gets past Triton, then there's still a couple scenarios where Lee County could ultimately end up in a tie for the conference championship, which would include Triton beating them. And that's going to be it. They ran that off quick, and that'll be your ball game as we're at double zeros, except that we can't see the double zeros on the scoreboard, which is always one of my favorite things, to take a shot of the scoreboard. But we're done. 57
to 6.
Sure.
57, 58. The last score I had recorded sent from one phone to another was 51-6. I know I didn't send the last one. So 58-6 here at Paul B. Gay Stadium here in Lee County, North Carolina. Lee County High School Yellow Jackets all in control. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the First Bank postgame show. We'll put a bow on this, and we'll get out of here and eat some Daxby's chicken.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
First Bank presents the post-game show on the NFHS Network. Brought to you by New Image Media.
Post-game show. Chris, I've got to apologize right off the bat to you, all of our staff here, and all of our fans at home. I'm a raging moron. The final score was 54-6. Lee County Yellow Jackets over the Western Harnett Eagles. Woo! What a shellacking that was. You know, we talked earlier today, and we were trying to discuss certain things that we could talk about to fill the time tonight. I think we did an okay job with it.
If we had it to do over again, frankly, had we known how the schedule was going to break, what the records were going to be, we probably would have scheduled to do the Triton Union Pines game.
Yep.
Which, however, would have meant 4 weeks of Union Pines in a row. We had to get over here. Lee County hadn't gotten enough coverage for us. They are the team to beat in this district, and they didn't let us down. I mean, this is a good ball club. They really
Absolutely.
are. And I'm impressed with how far the pass offense has come from the first couple weeks of the season. They're getting the ball down the seam. They're running some things. They're running some route combinations that are causing everybody problems, because we're seeing receivers run into wide open spaces. And we saw it again. They left some points out there on the field. You had the 2 fumbles down at the goal line. You had Jackson Lamb that missed a bunny that I'm going to give him grief about when I see him, and his dad. But, no, this Lee County team, they're as good as advertised. This is a team that should go deep into the playoffs in just a couple of weeks. They've got work to do on Monday. Triton, nobody expected them to be the second-best team in this conference, but they are, and they've got a really superstar quarterback playing for them. Does a lot of damage. They've got to turn around quick, and you've got a holiday weekend coming up.
Yep.
So you pivot, and not just only are they playing 4 days from now, they don't have a whole lot of time to prepare and get ready for Triton. Now, the fact that they've already put in work, looked at the tape for the Triton game a couple weeks ago helps. But talk about the struggles getting ready for that game.
You know, there's not only the physical aspect. Now, Lee County High School physically dominated this ball game. Usually you have a recovery period. You have to get some of your kids that got a little dinged up. I don't think there was a ton of dinging up tonight, with the exception of Mr. Diego.
Yeah, Diego Guevara on crutches by the end of the ball game, so we'll see how that shapes up.
But so not only do you have to get them back healthy, ready to play in 4 days, which is a really quick turnaround, you have to put all of your game plan together, which I'm sure Coach Steve Bordeaux and Andre Jacobs had already somewhat started, but hadn't really talked with the kids yet, because you don't ever want to skip a ball game. That's how you drop a game to Pine Forest. Yeah. And so and you're got to meet with them on Friday. Lee County is on spring break at the moment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sure
so
are.
the kids aren't in the building unless you bring them in the building. It's a long weekend, so your time with your kids is just going to be minimal to go over the game plan. Now, Lee County High School, we know, has taken advantage of these Zoom meetings. They did it all through the COVID era. They're very familiar with it at this point. All these kids know and have the ability to get on. I have no doubt that at some point in time through this weekend, these coaches, whether Steve Bordeaux, Coach Andre Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, any of the multitude of position coaches will be on Zoom or the phone or whatever method they use, talking with these kids, getting them information. Because you're right, Monday night is a very big ball game. If Triton wins tonight against Union Pines, they're still undefeated in the conference.
Yes, sir.
And still knocking on the door of contesting for a conference championship. So I'm sure that they're going to be spending plenty of time this weekend, less Easter egg hunting and more football preparation, which I've never said it before, but hey, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, and the thing with it is you've got the holiday weekend coming up, and we can talk about, what we assume is going to happen, and Lee County's going to do this, and they're going to get into the playoffs, so on and so forth. However, there's a reason you line up and play these ball games.
Absolutely.
And they've got two games coming up against guys, teams. Southern Lee is not going to roll over for these guys. It's going to be their Super Bowl.
Yep.
Their Cotton Bowl, their Orange Bowl, their whatever you want to call it. If they can knock off Lee County, that defines this season for Southern Lee. So in a game where we've seen crazy things happen, Southern Lee's going to come out and let it all hang out. Triton may be playing in the biggest game those guys have played in their entire high school careers, and it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yep.
You talk hypothetically about, hey, we're going to try and make the playoffs, and we're going to try and make a run. Triton may well come into that game with a serious chance to go play postseason football and turn the world on its ear. So work left to be done for Lee County. It's a team that continues to get better. These athletes are doing what they're supposed to do. We'll see what they've got in store on Monday. Great game tonight for Lee County. Kind of went the way we expected, but some weird plays, but they were able to overcome it. And it shows they don't miss a beat. They are focused. They're locked in, and I'm excited about the future. I'm excited right now, though, for some Zaxby's chicken, which I'm going to go ahead and eat. And then I'm excited about Monday. We'll be right back here to see Triton come in here and see what they can do with this Lee County team and do what nobody else in the Tri-County 6 has been able to do for several years now, and that's hang an L on Lee County.
Yep. So, looking forward. It'll be a quick turnaround for us. We're looking forward to a great Monday night and then a Wednesday night coaches show there at Classic Nissan. Really, we've talked about. We had plenty of time. Lee County came out dominant again.
Yep.
Couple of things to clean up. Ball security, working your way into an end zone. Definitely a item for them to work on. They had a couple of jumps off sides. They had a couple of mishaps here and there, so it's definitely something to work on. But with quick turnaround, I'm sure Coach Steve Bordeaux and his staff will notify players, have the discussion about it, move right on. I'm sure it won't be a harping point for them. And I'm excited to see them play the Hawks Monday night. I wish we had a score we could tell you on whether that game was incredibly relevant or not. But nonetheless, it has the potential to be, depending on what's going on in Irwin at the moment. So, looking forward, I am really excited. We got a really fun week of football next week.
Yeah, we do. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thanks to Tim Copus, Wayne Crazley, Terry McMillan, all the folks that make this thing go. Thanks to all the sponsors. It's a great night. Enjoy your weekend. I know we're going to have a fantastic dinner laid on at the Delambert household, and we'll be back on Monday.
I'm smoking some prime rib for Easter. So, got to eat great for Jesus now.
Wow, I like it. All right, well, we'll be back on Monday with the Lee County Yellow Jackets as they host Triton in what is a big matchup. And then on Friday, we'll be back again as Southern Lee and Lee County match up in the Brick City Bowl. In between, the coaches show on Wednesday. Big week coming up. Ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll.
All right. This has been the First Bank post-game show, as Nate just got knocked out by a door. This has been the First Bank post-game show. I'm Chris Delambert. This is Nate Cochrane. We're out. Peace.